Every guy wants to unwrap our best-selling, wrinkle-free, and performance styles. From polished shirts for holiday parties to cozy layers for family photos, you'll find everything he needs to look sharp and feel comfortable all day. Get a head start on your holiday gift list. Early holiday sale happening now. Find the perfect gift for everyone on your list at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Here's Tommy Lahren.
Democrats are super stoked about their victories, and good for y'all. I'm glad you'll finally get to experience your socialist crap up close and personal, and I hope you enjoy it. One thing, though, after y'all finish totally screwing up your blue cities and states, you'll decide to flee to our great red states with your coexist and your no human is illegal yard signs. You'll vote for Democrats. You'll tell us we need to be more inclusive, and you'll tell us we should embrace your woke crap. We aren't gonna. And we don't want you here, so please don't come. You made your bed, so stay there. I'd add, there's a bottom of the moral barrel, and y'all are scraping it for dear life. So never again do I want to hear a Democrat crow about decency or morality or the rhetoric of the right. You're done.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
At 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's NewstalkSTL.
One of the mistakes that I think we made over the past 40 years, over my not even a partisan point, is that we were too willing to send our Marines and our soldiers and everybody else off to war without giving you clear guidance about what you needed to do and clear guidelines for when you would come home. And that is one thing the President of the United States and everybody in the White House, we promise we will never do. When we send you off to fight our nation's battles, we will do it with full confidence. We will give you that your job is to kick the enemy's ass and come back home safely. That is our sacred promise from the President of the United States on down. That's what we owe every single one of you, is a clear mission and a clear promise that when you do that mission, you're going to come home safely.
That is J.D. Vance at the Marine Corps ball. We're going to go over there, kick some ass, and get you home safely.
And then you got people in the left saying, ooh, don't be so mean.
Do you remember, Ken, when Barack Obama was president and it was Marine Corps and he didn't know how to say Corps, C-O-R-P-S?
Yeah, he called it corpse. He said corpse. Yeah.
Is he American or is he not American? Who makes that mistake? So the Marine Corps ball was last night, and you know what? We couldn't agree more. You know, when we send our men and women to fight, we want them to kick ass, and then we want them to come home safely. Come home safely, of course, a part of that equation, because there's guys, mothers, and families, and wives, and daughters, in some cases, waiting for them to come back and coming home safely is, you know, the big thing. Oh, and I should probably mention today is the 250th birthday of the Marines. And Ken, can we hear a little more of that J.D. Vance from the Marine Corps ball? Because technology doesn't mean AI, right? It means a well-trained United States Marine Corps. Number 5.
Yeah. We've got all this incredible technology. And of course, the United States is the most significant leader of technology in the world. But I happen to believe that the most important warfighting technology is not a new airplane. The most important warfighting technology is not artificial intelligence or anything on a computer. The most important warfighting technology is a well-trained and well-armed.
Is that Pete Hegseth or is that the vice president?
That is the vice president
It
of the United
is.
States of America.
But he sounds a lot like Pete Hegseth. You know, Pete Hegseth doesn't want any fatties in the military.
And
That excludes the generals.
exactly right. And they're not messing around. They're saying, okay, what is the purpose? It's a very, you said earlier, very basic, very common sense. What is the purpose of the United States military? Why are we putting most of our budget into it? Well, it's so we can make sure we're protected.
Right.
And the only way to protect ourselves is to have a lethal military.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it.
You don't want to lose wars. You know,
The left would rather have you be like, well, we'd like to have a mean military. A mean military means, you don't want to hurt everybody.
we don't want a bunch of meanies.
No.
So how would today's, Ken, let me ask you a question, then we'll move on. How would today's liberals look at things if it was 1945 and we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
How would they respond? Oh, they'd be in the streets. They would be in the streets. They wouldn't care that it actually saved 3 million lives, because that's what they estimated it did overall.
Mm-hmm.
They would just say, but you okay, it saved 3 million American lives. So what? We screw the Americans. We want to make sure we protect the illegals or the people who are overseas.
Right. If it were up to them, the military would be, I'll scratch your eyes out.
Exactly right.
Right?
Yeah, that's mean.
Do we need to talk to somebody on the phone here?
We can if we want to take a chance.
Okay. Hi, News Talk STL. Who's this?
Hey, Vic. This is Eric. How's it going?
Good, Eric. What's happening? You sound a little down today. You haven't had your coffee yet?
No. I actually was talking to Ken,
Yeah.
and I thought I'd tell you, I figured him out. You're working with a deceiver. The only reason that he wanted to go to the January 6th event to steal everybody's thunder.
You know why? Because he is
Ken, Thunder Stealer.
You're right. He would have been there opening his big mouth, right? Carrying a flag that says Thunder Stealer. Eric, that's so funny. Is that all you got? All right, that's good enough. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
See you, man.
See, I'm not the only one, okay?
Yeah,
I know you.
I got you.
I'm so glad you didn't go to January 6th, because we wouldn't be doing this right now.
We probably
You'd
wouldn't
be in a gulag
Right.
somewhere.
I would have gotten pardoned and thrown back in.
I would have. Well, Jessica would have to bake you a cake with a file inside. So
Right.
You could file through the bars. All right. Let's do some President Trump from yesterday.
Yes.
I think I like you, Ken. I think I want to do 2 and 3, if that's okay.
Okay.
Because this was the NFL on Fox, and the president was at the Detroit Lions Washington Redskins game.
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And here they are.
And he was talking to the announcers, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma.
Okay.
You never quit, did you?
Never quit.
That's why you won a Super Bowl.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And I think about how football is similar in some respects to combat, war, etc. And you kind of take some of the same strategies. I'd love to hear your thoughts about where we are as a nation, how we're doing.
Well, we're doing great, and recruitment is doing phenomenally. People have spirit. Our stock market hit an all-time high. Prices are coming down. We inherited a mess. Prices are coming way down. And I'll tell you, our country has over $17 trillion being invested in it, which is a record. So we're doing great, just like they have to do great right now. Let's see what happens.
On 4th down, Mariota throws.
This is so cool.
Just take it down. Samuel.
Can't write a script better than that.
Got a little ways to go yet, but still, that was very important. Now your ratings have gone up because there's hope.
Mr. President, we thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
joining
much.
us.
This is an honor.
The rest of the game.
Fantastic.
Thanks for the visit.
I'd love to have your job someday. Thank you.
Thank you, President. You did an excellent job calling that play.
Thank you very much.
The President of the United States, Donald Trump, on Veterans Day weekend here in our nation's capital.
And what's cool, Vic, is he did an announcement of the play earlier. I couldn't get all of it.
That's
It was like
okay,
9 minutes long.
Yeah.
But he kind of laughed when he said, "You did a great job with that." Yeah. Okay, thanks a
Because
lot.
it probably didn't, right? Well, it's a touchdown.
Well,
Got the ball right in the
Well, here's what he said. He said, "Okay, hey, yeah, let's watch and see what happens with this play." And the play starts happening. He's like, "Ooh, this is going to be good." And he didn't say anything. So then the other guy said, "Well, okay, here's what's happening." And he said, "You did a great job." they were very, very courteous. They were very respectful to Donald Trump, and I loved it.
I mean, I guess that was Jonathan Vilma who was really saying, hey, thanks, Mr. President, for what you're doing. Kenny Albert was that last guy who was making fun of the president there, who was Marv Albert's brother.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Marv?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And Marv Albert, I used to listen to Marv Albert do the Knicks games on the radio, and he was so good at painting a picture, Ken. If you're watching a game and the person on the radio will say the Knicks are moving from left to right, you can get a picture in your mind.
Yeah.
So Marv Albert used to say, the Knicks are shooting at the 8th Avenue end of the Garden. And why that's such a picture with words is because in Madison Square Garden, inside the arena, you're inside watching the Knicks or the Rangers or a concert or whatever, and it says 8th Avenue on this side of the arena, and it says 7th Avenue on this side of the arena.
So regardless of what side you're sitting on, you still know what side it is.
Exactly, which way they're going, you know? I thought that was awesome. All right, can we hear some more of this? This is great. So it was President Trump at the game between the Detroit Lions and the Washington Redskins yesterday. More with Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma.
You go way back with the sport of football. You played at New York Military Academy. How old were you when you started playing football, and what were some of the life lessons you took out of it?
Well, I did. I played tight end, but I mean, it was not quite football like this. It was a little bit easier. It wasn't so tough, but we had a good time, and I loved it. I actually love playing football. We had a good time with it.
So we were trying to look up your stats, and we wanted to know how many touchdowns did you have back then?
Oh,
6,
is that right?
7?
I'm not sure I had any. I'm not sure. It's a long time ago. But
There you
no,
are.
So I never played college football. I played high school football, and I scored one touchdown in my entire career. It was a very big touchdown, though, because it was against Belleville. We hated Belleville. And
not the Belleville in Illinois that listens to us.
Of course, we love them.
Right.
What a great fountain they've got in the middle of Belleville Square right there. But it was Belleville, New Jersey, a bunch of dirty Italians. And it was a simple out pattern, Ken. It was like go 10 yards and then go right toward the sidelines.
Yeah.
And Chris Gimnani put it right in my hands. And I just, tight rope.
Pivoted and boom.
I tight rope the sideline.
Yeah.
And made it to a touchdown. And it was my only touchdown. So it was my big thing. I told the story. That's just so crazy. This came up in context with Jessica yesterday, but it's kind of in context now. So I was not a beast. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I am not turning this television on for you again. You hear me? 3 times I've turned it on. I'm not doing it.
I don't care anymore.
Okay, me neither. So I knew that I could never be anything more than a high school football player one time when I was playing defensive back. And kid caught a pass. And Ken, I could have knocked this kid's head off if I just did it the right way. And something inside me, I didn't do that. I grabbed him by the shirt and I just threw him down. Either way, I got down. He didn't get any more yards, but I couldn't bring myself to just kill this kid. I could have just knocked his head right off.
You didn't have that instinct.
I didn't. Yeah. So with that being said, once I became a senior, I only played offense. I didn't play any defense. You know what, Ken? Talking about, I'm a big hypocrite. Okay, I say you can't keep your mouth shut. I never keep my mouth shut, and that kept me from being a star in football. Because at the beginning of the season, before any games were played, when we were practicing, I was wide receiver. I was a defensive back. I kicked off. I punted. I ran back punts, everything. But I would always. It was raining one time so badly that we weren't even outside. We're just in the locker room. The coaches are trying to decide what to do. So what do? I take some chalk. I walk up to the chalkboard and I start imitating, do impressions of all the coaching staff, the entire coaching staff. And I did it, and I hear the guys go from laughing to nothing to silence. And I turned around and I was like, "Oh my God!" They were all standing there watching me do it. So I just put the chalk back on the ledge and
I would have laughed my butt off as a coach. I would have thought that was a nice little gesture, and then go run some laps.
Right.
That's okay.
This was not that time. This was that back then when they were all jerks. So my original story. There's a guy who I played against high school football and baseball, by the way. His name was Larry Kubin, Kubin, Larry Kubin. He went on to play linebacker for Penn State and for the Jets. He made it to the NFL as a linebacker.
Oh, wow.
And we started out this game at Union, New Jersey. and it was raining terribly. It was muddy. You know, after one set of downs, everybody's uniform, you can't even see the numbers. They're just covered in mud. And, you know, we held them to no score after they held the ball. And now the offense comes on. So here I come running on the field with my nice, clean jersey, nothing on it. And Larry Kubik goes, "You, 86, kill you. I'm going to knock your head off." I was like, "What did I do to you? Oh, my God." And I will never forget that as long as I live. Larry Kubik, who went on to be a linebacker for Penn State and the Giants, knocked my head off.
Okay, then. Yeah. Getting back to this too, I just love the idea of President Trump visiting a game.
Yes.
The first regular season game that a president of the United States has been to since 1978.
I love that.
Yeah. And in this one, here's the comparison I made immediately when I heard this. Okay, Vic, listen to this.
We were trying to look up your stats, and we wanted to know.
Oh, no. Wait, no, there's a meaning behind it.
Right.
7.
I'm not sure I had any.
Okay, so how would Joe Biden say that? Think about it.
49 touchdowns just last week.
That were lies.
Yeah.
No, that he was he would make up
I'm
lies.
a liar. Yeah.
Yeah, where President Trump, he's like self-defacing. You know, he's like, I don't even know if I had any touch. There's a big difference there with the personality of these two people, and that includes this.
And why lie in a situation like that?
Right. Why pump yourself up if you're already pumped?
If the broadcasters say to you, Joe Biden, how many? Come on, guys. Don't talk. Let's talk about something else, right?
Right.
Come on, man. He would have said something else.
No, Joe Biden would say, well, yeah, now that you bring it up, I was an All-American, and I had about 500 touchdowns.
In one game.
In one game.
One game.
Yeah. That's the way Joe Biden would have done it.
You're absolutely right. And President Trump was like, I don't think I had any.
Right.
Which is
He doesn't
probably
need he doesn't need to bloviate.
Right. What was that word?
Bloviate.
I like that. Can we write that down?
Okay.
Bloviate.
I think that's the first word you've ever written down of mine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Bloviate. I don't like that. We'll be using that from time to time here on the show. All right. So the president's great. Redskins, they win that game. The Redskins lost that.
No, the cool thing is actually the Detroit Lions. I think they may have won.
Yeah.
But at one of the touchdowns, one of the players did the Trump dance in the end zone.
You're right. I love that. One of the Redskins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't. No,
one of the Lions.
Yeah.
One of the Lions. Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Sorry, the Redskins. Did I say Redskins enough?
Maybe.
Should I say it one more time?
One.
Trump was at the Redskins game.
Was he?
Yesterday.
Oh.
So stupid. Pitchers got indicted for the big gambling.
Did they really?
Scam. Yeah, they sure did. Indicted. Hey, how about a real Marine on the birthday of the Marines?
That's right.
Paul Curtman is going to join us next.
Whoosh.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar salad. Your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. That's 800-515-2380.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019 94.1 and always streaming at
NewstalkSTL.com.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew with Washington. Syria's president is in Washington today for a meeting with
President Trump. It's the first visit to the White House by a Syrian head of state since 1946. Syrian President Ahmad al-Sharaa, who once had ties to al-Qaeda, led the toppling of Syria's former president last December. Donald Trump has described al-Sharaa as a young, attractive guy and a tough guy. His visit comes after the U.S. lifted sanctions imposed on Syria.
That is White House correspondent Greg Cluxton reporting. The Senate voted 60-40 on Sunday to proceed to a House-passed continuing resolution to reopen the government, taking a big first step toward ending the shutdown. The details from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Democrats are coalescing around a bipartisan agreement to fund the government. Some, however, are still resisting. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer emerged from an evening caucus meeting telling reporters, "I'm voting no," as he walked to the Senate floor.
Therefore, I must vote no.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the time has come to put the shutdown behind us.
From the truly precarious situation we are in with regard to air travel to the fact that our staffs have been working without pay for a full 40 days now, all of us, Republicans and Democrats who support this bill, know that the time to act is now.
Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen among the Democrats who went along with the compromise.
The agreement reinstates thousands of fired federal workers and provides back pay to more than 1 million others. It advances 3 bipartisan funding bills. It restores a real bipartisan appropriations budget process.
And since there were some modifications to the bill originally passed by the House, after the Senate approves it, it will go back to the House for final congressional approval, then on to the president's desk. The flight cancellations at airports across the country are expected to persist, even get a little worse perhaps, even as the government shutdown is set to end. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 75 points. You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show, leveling over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple. Leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing under NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. The weather starts.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, 2 behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is.
All right, I let you run alone. All right.
the enemy, I turn around and run just to hear the Marines march. Today is the 250th birthday, is what they say.
Yeah.
Of the U.S. Marines. And we've got a real-life superhero U.S. Marine with us, our great friend Paul Curtman. Happy Marines Day, Paul.
Hey, thanks, Ken. Thanks, Vic. What a great day it is. Thanks for inviting me on to talk a little bit about it.
You bet. Does any of that sound familiar, that marching thing?
The cadence?
It brings tears to my eyes. I mean, like, it is beautiful music to me because when I hear that, I can see the faces of all these men that I got to serve with. And so it really brings back a lot of memories. Good stuff.
So Paul, you're such he's a calm, compassionate American, right? Proud American, but yet he'll tear your head off if he has to in war. I mean, how did you balance that? Your calm persona with being an absolute beast in the United States Marines?
Well, you know, when I joined the Marines, guys, I signed up when I was 17 years old. And this was pre 9/11. It was literally like 2 years before 9/11. And all I wanted to do was just see if I could fight. Like I was driven by that. Like I could have done other things. I could have joined the Marines or the Army or the Navy, and I could have learned a skill that would have been better for me maybe later in life. And I did good on my scores when I was signing up, but all I wanted to do was just join the Marine Corps infantry. I wanted to paint my face green and brown and black and run through a jungle with an M16 and blow stuff up. And I tell you what, the Marine Corps did not disappoint. And when you first get to boot camp, every Marine, it is, you know, they shave your head. You have to refer to yourself in third person because they are stripping away every emblem of identity that you've ever been able to collect and acquire over your short life. And then by the time you leave boot camp, you're not just saying yes, sir, no, sir. One of the things that they ingrained in our heads was to acknowledge an order by yelling the word kill. And so when I came out of boot camp, I remember going to McDonald's with my family and I placed an order, and this poor girl repeated the order back to me. And then just instead of just saying like, yeah, that's it, you know, like a normal person, I just yelled kill right there in McDonald's. And so that's the kind of thing that like it takes time to kind of unwind from that. And I think if you've been in the Marine Corps, you never truly unwind from it. You just learn how to make sure you don't let it out around other people.
I gotta tell you a story now because it's based right around that, Paul, about myself and my two brothers. Back when I was in the band, we were traveling the country playing in a band, my brother Bobby and I. And then my brother Jim was in boot camp with the United States Marine Corps. Well, at some point we came home and then he was getting out of boot camp and he came home and walking up the street with the dress blues on just for my mom, you know, that's what she asked for. And then so he comes in, and while we're zany and partying and having a great time, he's standing there at attention. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, Jim, you know, I know you got a lot going on there." I said, "But can I want you to relax, man. Just chill. We're gonna have a great time." He goes, "Oh, I am chilling."
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh, okay then. I will leave you to it."
As you were, soldier. Paul, so can you give? Well, first of all, where did you serve? Did you have to go anywhere, any country or anything?
I did. So when I first got through boot camp, I went to Camp Pendleton. I went to the School of Infantry. And then from the School of Infantry, I got sent to my permanent duty station, which was in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. And I was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines, more specifically 3rd Platoon Golf Company, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. And then from our home base there in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, we went to Okinawa, Japan. We went to Australia. You get to go around the Pacific Theater a little bit. But then after 9/11, that was completely different because my whole unit, all we ever trained for was jungle warfare. And so we're out training in these triple canopy jungles, and we're learning land navigation and how to fight using guerrilla war fighting tactics inside of a really thick jungle. And so then when the fights turned into the mountains of Afghanistan and Iraq, at the very beginning, I think they maybe just weren't sure exactly how to utilize us in that theater. So as the Marine Corps and the military was finding its footing in this new theater of war, I got sent to the Middle East with a smaller team, and we did some force protection operations all around the Middle East, leading up to the invasion of Iraq.
Oh my God. I mean, wow. Your service is unbelievable. To me, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I wouldn't have got through boot camp, to be quite honest, instead of being 9,000 miles away in a, jungle or whatever you were in Afghanistan and protect people. So, I mean, I can't say anything else than just thanks.
And
man.
Paul, I think Vic, I think you, Vic, if you would have been in that mindset, you would have gotten through it. It's a mindset, right, Paul? I mean, if you're determined, especially after 9/11, I think there were so many Americans that became just pure patriots wanting to fight for this country.
Yeah, there were. And probably about 4 or 5 months after 9/11, that was right about the time that all my senior guys left my platoon. And so now I'm one of the senior guys in my platoon. And we started getting these new Marines, and many of them had joined. Some of them were business owners. Some of them were already halfway through college, but they just wanted to get in the fight. And so we started actually picking up these new joins who joined only because of what happened on 9/11. And here's the thing, too. I think that people say that from a place of humility, which I think is very sincere and I respect. But I'll tell you what, Vic, from what I know about September 11th, 2001, and you decided that you were going to join, when you first get to boot camp, I mean, it is seriously challenging. There's no doubt about that. But what it is that keeps people going is not necessarily, you're not necessarily thinking of all these patriotic, you're not singing patriotic songs as you're marching through boot camp. You're suffering through boot camp with all these other guys, and you build these bonds of trust and loyalty. And so at a certain point, you keep going because you cannot let the guy on your left and your right down. And I think that helps form this cohesive identity. So now, and this has happened to me recently, I'll get in touch recently down here in Florida. I got in touch with one of the guys that I served in a squad with. Haven't seen him in 20 years. But as soon as we got together, it was like we just picked up right where we left off. And I was ready to go out on a patrol with him. I mean,
I love that.
You're just that tight. And so all of that gets formed beginning on that day one in boot camp. And so that's what keeps people going. And so I don't sell yourself too short, because there's no doubt in my mind, because you are a passionate guy who believes things. And what it is that gets people through that training or through those battles is the fact that they believe in the.
When I was playing football and I was a defensive back, and this guy caught a pass in front of me, and I could have knocked his head off, but I didn't. I just grabbed him by the shirt and threw him down. I mean, I couldn't even do that, Paul.
Well, I bet you could. I bet you could after boot camp. Listen, when you get in the Marine Corps, they talk about, we kind of joke around about it, kind of tongue in cheek, but it's true to a certain degree. But, we will joke around and be like, oh man, you really get brainwashed going in. But that's just part of, learning your new identity. So James Mattis, Mad Dog Mattis, famous legendary warfighter. The guy never even got married up until recently, because he had the mind, hey, if the Marine Corps doesn't, he devoted his life to the study of warfare. So this is the mindset. Here's some hardcore quotes by James Mattis. When he was in Iraq, he was dealing with tribal leaders. This is the mindset of Marines. This is what makes Marines go, oh yeah, this is why I joined. He's telling tribal leaders, he said, I come to you with tears in my eyes. I'm come in peace. I come to you with tears in my eyes. Don't mess with me, or I will kill you all. Can you imagine? That is how you balance. That's how warfighters in the Marine Corps balance dominance with diplomacy. They're just straightforward, and they know if we get into a fight, either we're going to die or you're all going to die. There's not going to be any retreat. There's not going to be any negotiation. There's just going to be blood. And if it's not going to be that unites and bonds these guys together. It doesn't matter. I mean, Vic, if you were in, you would be that guy, no doubt in my mind.
We're talking Paul Curtman from, it's prcurtman.com, right, Paul?
Yeah, prcurtman.com.
Yeah, and Paul, Pete Hegseth, he wanted to increase the lethality of the military, which means, well, let's make the military what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, and I think the military generally has gone through a lot of wokeness. The Marine Corps has, by and large, been able to hold on to its traditions and its identity, and I think it's had a much smaller effect on that. Now, I haven't been in a while, so I couldn't speak with any great authority on that. But really, with Marines, if you want to enhance the lethality of the Marine Corps, all you have to do is cut the leash.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem we had in Afghanistan, I believe, and also especially in Vietnam. They had such a leash that the politicians were deciding about what was going to happen with warfare.
Well, I think you could have been the Department of War Secretary of War. You could have easily been that.
Tell you what, man, when I'm watching Pete Hegseth give these speeches, like I can tell you, like I'm thinking to myself, where's my uniform?
Oh man,
do this again, because it is turned into exactly, hearing Pete Hegseth give these speeches, that's what has made so many people want to join. The idea that, hey, we're going to join something bigger than ourselves. We are going to be challenged.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like I joined because I wanted to see if I could fight. I was really short in high school. I was little. I was kind of scrawny. And I remember when I was in high school, I never even seen a Marine in dress blues in my life. And one day I'm in Pacific High School in Pacific, Missouri. I'm walking out of the cafeteria, and down at the end of the hall, I see this guy in dress blues, and I didn't even know it was the Marine Corps. I didn't know anything about it, but he was standing next to a skull and crossbones flag that said, "Mess with the best, die like the rest."
Wow.
And I was hooked. That was it. I was like, I'm in. Where do I sign?
Oh, my God.
I love that.
All right, so I got some questions. First question is, when 9/11 happened and then they shipped you out, how old were you then? Like 20?
Yeah, I was 20 years old. I had just turned 20 years old, and 9/11 happened, and then we did a workup, and then we went straight to the Middle East.
Unbelievable. So my dad was in the Army in World War II, 787th Tank Battalion, drove a tank onto Omaha Beach, and they would get together once a year. All the 787s, they'd all get together and have a reunion. And then as years went by, that reunion was less guys, less guys. And I don't think there's anybody left. So keep meeting with those guys and having lunch and stuff with those guys, okay?
Yeah, we sure do. Thanks to social media and texting, we can stay in a lot more closer contact than a lot of previous generations got.
In the right direction now?
I think so. Now, the military, it's interesting how the military changes course and direction. Like after World War II, for example, we had fighter planes. And then that turned into fighter jets. And some people might not know this, but as we went into the Vietnam War, we didn't have fighter jets that had guns on them. They were shooting missiles. And one of the reasons for that was because they thought to themselves, some of the higher ups thought to themselves, technology is so advanced, we'll never have dog fights in the air the way we used to. We'll be shooting missiles from miles and miles away. Well, then they quickly learned, okay, we need to get our guns back on our jets. And so now all of our fighter jets also have guns the way that they had, just like they had back in World War II flying biplanes. But then you see like the Marine Corps has been phasing out their tank battalions. The Marine Corps is also, this is super, super problematic, I think, eventually, time will tell. The Marine Corps is phasing out their scout snipers. Scout snipers are incredibly effective. It's way more humane to take one shot and kill one guy from a mile away than it is to have to drop bombs on a whole village. And I think that eventually we'll come back around and need them. But generally speaking, under the leadership of Pete Hegseth, I 100% believe that this is all beginning to head right in the right direction.
Well, I hope so. It didn't sound good at the beginning when you're saying they're phasing it out. I mean, those snipers, as you say, way to take out one guy, one bullet, right? So Paul
Yeah.
Curtman, our favorite Marine. Okay, not our favorite Marine. I don't want to hurt Larry's feelings, but we love you. And I just want you to know, pal. Okay, don't think you're cool. You know what? I can do up to 1 push-up. Up to 1. That's it.
That's good.
Not even not even a chuckle.
He's not going to say something about that.
No laugh. No nothing. All right, Paul. Hey, tell us again. Tell us again what you do down there.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, guys. I manage people's investment portfolios, 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs. If they got stocks, bonds.
You can get people from St. Louis as well. We'll work with them too, right?
Guys, about 90% of all my business is right there in the St. Louis area. So I'm back in town like every couple months.
All right, don't think this gets you out of talking about to be or not to be with us next month, okay?
Right.
We got to come back and do that.
Yeah, can't wait.
Paul, thank you for serving. Thank you for being a hero to us, being in the Marines. And again, happy could you make that a little louder so nobody hears me? Just thanks. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to see you, Paul.
I got to do the food drive thing here. Hey, the food drive, it starts now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Start donating food with St. Louis County Republican Central Committee, Feed My People, and us, News Talk STL. It's a holiday food drive, and you can go bring food to all 3 Bartolino's locations. And I think I saw in the chat box, we'll get into it a little more when we do that, the Bartolino's in Twin Oaks is one of the places that's right near my house.
Right.
Both Chris, which I live closer. Have you ever eaten at Chris?
No.
Oh, so good. All 3 Michael's Flooring outlets, and right here in our lobby at News Talk STL in the Westport area. Once again, congratulations to our Marines and happy birthday, 215th. Tomorrow is an all-out Veterans extravaganza for Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah.
11/11. So here's your mission if you decide to accept it. Dunkin' Donuts, and you see a veteran, buy his coffee. Well, I wanted to do that one year. I did. I ended up doing it. The girl behind the counter had to make such a big deal out of it. I saw a guy with a, veteran's hat on, and he was going to the coffee machine. I said, "Oh my God, perfect." I said to the girl, "I want to pay for his coffee." She goes, "What size?" "I don't know. The biggest size that you ever sold in your life. That big." And I said, and then I paid, and then I left. I didn't want the guy to know that it was me. I think that's the cooler thing to walk up. Somebody paid for your coffee.
Right.
A thankful, appreciative American. All right, East Coast Report with Doug Blair. That's next on 1019-94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I had a guardian angel by my side. I called her Mamaw. Now, she once told me when she found out that I was spending too much time with a local kid who was known for dealing drugs, that if I ever hung out with that kid again, she would run him over with her car. And she said, "JD, no one will ever find out about it."
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. St. Louis's place to talk.
Freedom of speech is one of the anchors of our society.
News Talk STL.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Parents want more choices rather than fewer when it comes to their children's education. And now some Missouri parents will have one more option to get their children the best education available. Low-income students and those with disabilities in Missouri's largest communities can now apply for an Empowerment Scholarship Account, or ESA. With an ESA, the money the state would normally pay to your child's public school goes into an account that you control. You can use the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, a private tutor, or other approved uses. You can tailor your child's education. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that parents only need one choice. They're assigned public school based on their address. ESAs put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the students to the place that best fits their needs. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
NewstalkSTL.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Wish.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Kidding me? He's got to do those. All live while you're listening to them. Nothing's pre-recorded. It is a drama. Well done, Kim Williams.
Thanks, Vic.
I appreciate everything Paul Curtman said, but I still don't think I could have done it. Partially, I got a bad attitude.
Well, that goes a long way. Actually.
Let's get to the East Coast Report with Doug Blair.
This just in. For the latest news from the D.C. swamp and beyond, this is the Vic Porcelli Show East Coast Report with Douglas Blair on News Talk STL.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Doug Blair. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. You know, it's a very boring day in the swamp. Nothing to talk about.
I should mention, I'm sorry, I apologize. Author of the Blair broadcast, Doug Blair. Just Blair broadcast, right?
The Blair broadcast, appreciate the shout out.
How's that going? It's going good?
Going good. Yeah, no, we have quite a few.
Hey, Doug, I'm sorry, Doug. I hate to interrupt, but can you call me right back? Because there's a bad connection. It's cutting out. Call me right back.
Sure.
All right, man. He's going to call back.
It's 2025.
I know.
It's the 21st century.
What are you going to do?
And a phone call can't connect from Washington, D.C. to St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah.
Do you get my bitch here or not?
I got to answer a phone.
It's 21st century. It's 2025. There should be no reason why a phone call can't.
Sorry, Doug.
Doug, but go ahead. How's
worries.
Nice.
How's the broadcast going?
It's going great. I think I picked up a few subscribers from you guys, which is always appreciated. So if anybody wants to hear my takes on, the very important thing happening in DC today, they should probably tune in.
How do we find it?
If they go on to Google and they search the Blair Broadcast Substack, it'll pop up. It's also linked on my Twitter, so I have it in as many spots as possible.
Okay, perfect. Good luck with it, man. We're rooting for you. You know that.
I appreciate it.
So let's talk about the big shutdown. You're in D.C. What's having to take the blame on this or not?
Yeah, so I actually think that it's a good sign when you're talking with Democrats and they're pissed off. They say, we caved, we totally gave this one up, we could have won more concessions, and we didn't do a thing. And they're all really pissed off at Schumer and Jeffries. So I think what's probably going to happen is either by the end of today or at the latest, the end of the week. I wouldn't anticipate anything further than Wednesday. We will see the government reopened. I think that Democrat guy who is going to give them an inch. And I think that he realized that they were more worried about getting their constituents pissed off than Trump was about getting his constituents pissed off. And I think the reason we know that is there was a leak a few days ago that showed that Schumer, within the first couple of days of the shutdown, was willing to basically reopen the government if, maybe we can extend the subsidies for a year. Maybe we can go on a little longer. And Trump said no. And I think that we've seen that Schumer clearly doesn't have the balls to do this. And so he's caving.
It's nice to have a president who does have the balls, though, right?
Correct. I was about to say something that I was probably my wife wouldn't be thrilled about, but I think that it's good to have a president that is willing to be harsh. He's willing to be tough. He's willing to fight battles that are popular for the greater good of the country, right? So, a lot of people were pointing to the snap fire, and Trump says, look, we can go to the table at any time. We are willing to pass a continuing resolution that funds the government at current levels. And if you want to be the one that owns that, if you want to be the one that says, hey, starving kids, poor mothers, you don't get food, then that's on you, because we're not extending these, Obamacare subsidies that were supposed to expire at the end of COVID. That's just not happening. The government doesn't have the money to do this, so we're not going to do that. And I think Schumer and everybody misinterpreted that as saying, oh, well, Trump is heartless. No, leaders have to make tough decisions. And I think the American people look at Trump and say, this is a man who is willing to make hard choices for the good of the country.
All right, here's just a thought that popped in listening to you talk right there. So a big part of the shutdown in the left and the Dems where people are starving, right? AOC made it sound like as soon as the shutdown happened, minutes after that, a baby died of starvation. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing is, it's not just getting the food to the people that need it. It's only if they get it through SNAP in their heads. I'm like, just get the people the food any way you can. Like, why don't you congressmen and senators, since you're not doing anything, why don't you fly back to the part of the country that you represent and do a massive food drive and send food to all the food? But no, they don't want to do that because the only way they can get food is through SNAP.
It's very funny, too, is this is what happened when an anonymous benefactor offered to pay $150 million to fund the armed services, to basically say law enforcement and members of the armed services that are not going to be paid because of the shutdown should receive the money. And of course, the left was very pissed off about this because they weren't the ones that got to redistribute the money. It was a private benefactor, which is kind of how conservatives view this whole project anyway, right? We view the private charities, local communities as being the better deliverers of these types of necessary services and goods. We don't view a massive government that's bloated and fat off of your tax dollars as being the best way to get people the things that they need. Democrats were saying, oh, look at who's not going to get paid. Look at all of these problems. And some, patriotic Americans stepped in and said, I will be the one that does this. And guess what? Those people got paid. So I think that, one of the things that the Democrats really fumbled the ball on is that they thought that this shutdown would impact more people than it actually did. And I think that that's why we were able to get 8 of them to cave. And again, this is a Schumer endorsed thing. Schumer will not, he won't say it out loud, but the fact that these 8 Democrats were able to go and join the Republicans to vote a motion through means that Schumer approved it. So this is Schumer caving. This is Schumer's agenda done. It's just a tale as old as time.
We're talking to Douglas Blair from the Blair broadcast. So, Doug, you're in D.C., right? You must have inside sources to people in Congress and the Senate, because here's my idea, and now is why I think is the best time to do this, okay? This shutdown was the longest ever, right? So now's a great time to get some legislation through that says, you know what? Next time you guys shut down the government, you're the first people that don't get paid. All you senators, all you members of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I think the thing is to have all of these members of Congress who are more concerned with serving themselves than serving their constituents. There is, of course, the rare exception, but out of all of the senators and congressmen that are sitting in that building right now, I would say the vast majority of them could not care less about their constituents. The problem, though, is I think that the Republicans are the ones that are really going to force this issue where it's like, we cannot let this happen again. This was a disaster. You guys caused all this damage, and now we have to be the ones to pick up the pieces. And I think Democrats are starting to realize, too, the next time they try and pull this, which inevitably they will, there's going to be some fight in the near future. I'm sure that Democrats feel like they have no other choice. They must shut down the government. But they're going to fail again. The problem I think that we both are sort of looking at, though, again, is how long is that shutdown going to last? This one lasted 40 days. The next one could last longer. And if the Democrats think that they can just get away with continuously shutting down the government, I think the American people need to punish them for it. I think that there should be some consequences. Do I think that Vic's very, very good idea where, the members of Congress are the ones that suffer the consequences is going to happen? Unfortunately not. I think that there's zero chance they'll vote to sort of punish themselves. But maybe the American public should do something about it. Maybe they should vote in people who are the deal, or they vote in people who say, I will willingly sacrifice my salary if it means that we keep the government open, or it means that I will face consequences if the government closes down. I think that's a possibility.
But it takes one person. I was going to say one guy. It takes one person to do that, right? And right now, President Trump is that guy. He doesn't take any salary at all, whether the government is open or not. So it takes one senator, one member of the House of Representatives to say, you know what? Next time this government shut down, I'm not taking a paycheck. And all you bitches shouldn't either.
I agree with you entirely, Vic, but here's the other thing, right? So let's say that there's a bill, perchance, in front of the House that says something along the lines of, maybe we shouldn't be able to trade stock. Maybe we shouldn't be able to be involved in the stock trade. Do you remember what happened with that? I don't. Do you remember if that actually went anywhere? I think the problem is they count on a very short attention span from American people who are focused on very important things like their jobs, their children, their family, their friends, and they just don't do anything. I mean, I think Trump could put this out there, and maybe he could use a lot of political capital to say, we're not shutting the government down again, and if it is shut down, then I'm calling on all of my Republican colleagues in the House and the Senate not to take a salary. That could work, but I just don't know if the American people would care long enough for that to actually change, and Democrats certainly don't because they seem to think it works.
Well, Doug, you know what truly aggravates me about the Republican Party is, can you tell me if they can do this or not? Okay, during this whole shutdown thing, they could have taken that filibuster and said, okay, we're getting rid of the filibuster just for this, and then brought it back into place as soon as it was over.
No, but I mean, that's the second that you do that, it's done, right? I mean, like, nobody's going to be willing to put that genie back in the bottle once it's out, because you basically are now saying that you only need those 50 votes to do your pet cause, right? So Republicans say, we're going to use the filibuster, we're going to get rid of the filibuster to open up the government again. The Democrats reclaim power as the pendulum swings back.
I got you. But aren't they going to do that anyway, Doug? I mean, seriously, Doug, whether or not the Republicans get rid of the filibuster or not for however long, the Democrats, as soon as they get power, they're going to do it. They're going to do it immediately. You watch.
Well, so this is a theory that is out there in the conservative movement right now that I'm not entirely opposed to. I completely understand why people are a little hesitant about keeping the filibuster in place when it becomes very clear that Democrats are becoming increasingly radical when it comes to how they handle these government sort of situations where they can say, you know what, we can't get abortion passed at the Supreme Court. We didn't shove enough justices in at the court to make sure that abortion was available at the national level. So we're just going to get rid of the filibuster and codify Roe.
They're going to.
That's basically be the ones to pull the trigger, get a lot of our policy passed in the 3 years that Trump remains in office, and then say, have fun. You get to deal with the consequences as Democrats. But the problem is, I think that their effectiveness is such that having a legislative bulwark in place where Democrats just can't ram through policy is more advantageous for conservatives who view the government with suspicion in the first place. So if your agenda is, I want to pass as much policy as possible and make the government do as much as I can, that is inherently a Democratic position. That is what Democrats want. They want a bigger government. If you're a conservative, you want to take sledgehammer to all of these institutions. You want to say the Department of Education is terrible, it needs to go. If you put up a legislative barrier that makes it harder for Democrats then to restructure the Department of Education, that's a better thing for you than it is for the short-term victory of say more benefits is keeping the filibuster in place to prevent Democrats from being as aggressive with the legislature than I do for a short-term victory when it comes to things like the government shutdown. I just think that in the long term, it makes more sense.
And I totally understand your point of view of it, but Doug, they're going to get rid of it. It won't be a barrier to them if they're in power and they have the majority. They will get the way the Democrats are today. They're liars, they're thieves, they are sneaky, devious, and they will get rid of it immediately. And they won't even care. Oh, So you didn't do it, and the media is going to be on their side and say, well, it doesn't matter because now the Democrats are doing it. So there you go.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, there will be a concerted effort by the media to basically say the Democrats are the good guys, and this is why it's a good thing. And I would regret getting rid of the judicial filibuster, getting rid of the filibuster to put in federal judges. And they were right. I mean, he was absolutely correct that they completely had egg on their face when it came to shoving in, 3 constitutionalist originalist justices because we had that capacity. Now I think that, they're recognizing that, oh, shoot, if we do this again, that might be a problem. You, though, are absolutely correct. And I would not put it past, if Chuck Schumer remains in power, him basically saying, filibuster's done, day one, we're going to shove in all of this stuff.
You know what, Doug? I'm sick to death of, I'm sorry, I'm changing gears on you guys. Us, the unelected patriots in this country, are the ones who want to feed people. I don't see any Democrat. I mean, I don't see any senator or representative's name on our little food bank thing we're reading all day.
No, right.
We're doing this food drive. Why does it just have to be us? Why can't they just do something at Congress and say, you know what? We're going to do a nationwide food drive. Everybody throw food into this big old barrel and we'll feed people. But no, because that's not coming. Snap. Right. So that's what they want.
I think you're right that, I mean, Democrats especially should really put their money where their mouth is, where it's Washington's director for literally any of these people. I would say go back to your district right now, start gathering food, and put that all on Twitter.
Yes.
The second that you start showing you're the one taking action, it becomes a lot more credible that you actually care about the people as opposed to just scoring a political win. But the problem is they don't. I mean, again, they fundamentally do not believe that is the way that these things should happen. Conservatives do. Conservatives believe that it is our community's responsibility to take care of our own. If you go to the church food drive, you're going to find a buttload of food there, and you're going to find a lot of stuff that you can bring home to feed your kids. If you're a Democrat in New York, sorry, tough luck. The shelters are closed down, and all the SNAP beneficiaries are done. So figure it out, right? I think that is the real problem here, is that Democrats fundamentally do not understand how to keep people in a food secure environment without daddy government watching over them, whereas conservatives have figured this out since the time of Christ. We literally know how to do this because we've been doing it for 2,000 years.
I heard you and Vic talking about this earlier, about how the Democrats, it's not about giving food. They couldn't care less about it. They really couldn't care less about who gets food or not, as long as they control the food. This is the whole thing about this whole SNAP program. People on SNAP that can get off of SNAP, they can get a job. They need to understand that the government can also take the food away whenever they want.
And what's the difference where the food comes from is my point.
Yeah.
If somebody's on SNAP and SNAP's not going, you know what? Here's a sandwich.
Okay, good sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, I think also one of the things that's very telling is that, I mean, you want to look at like LBJ. LBJ's mantra, which is what the Democrats still hold to this day, was that, the state should be the provider. And if you look, I mean, like, there is a perfect case study of the Black community that used to be on the upswing prior to the Great Society. And then you replace the father, you replace the church community, you replace all of these social institutions that were not related to the government with the government. And guess what happened? Everything got worse. I mean, like, the amount of people on welfare in the Black community is astronomical. Yep. And guess what? That wasn't a problem before you basically started saying it is easier for you to remain on SNAP. It's easier for you to remain on benefits than it is for you to go out and get a job. That's catastrophic for people's capacity to do things on their own. But that, again, is what Democrats want. This was Obama's entire thing, The Life of Julia. I don't know if you guys remember that ad campaign where it was like cradle to grave, the government will take care of you. That is so damning to the human spirit. It is so terrible that, like, we can literally look in front of us and say, oh my God, literally anything would be better. Even if you just weren't on benefits, you could have some form of, self-fulfillment. You would be better off than if you were just completely connected to the government at the seat.
Well, you got to go read Doug's stuff. I mean, all that is such great stuff. You can read there, Blair broadcast, and you can find it at douglasblair.substack.com. Is that how that works?
Oh my goodness. Thank you are incredible.
Come on, baby. Come on. Doug, thanks so much. We'll talk next week.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Doug. Right. Yeah, and they destroyed the Black nuclear family this way. They when they encourage when they actually made people benefit by not getting married, where did the fathers go? Yeah. Well, they went out of the house. And then they said, well, I have a baby mama now.
Yeah. Can I say something that I'm going to start repeating every day?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is so brilliant. This is the time right now, during the longest shutdown in this country's history, to start showing people how they can help and how they can feed people. And the people that need the food, oh, this is great. Thanks for the food. Maybe I'll help out somebody else too, since I have all this food. This is the perfect time.
Yeah.
To bash through the SNAP and EBT crap.
Well, we're going to have to do something because they're losing their souls by being put permanently on SNAP. People who can go to work, but they just don't.
And that's exactly why. What you're saying, that's exactly why the government will never do a national food drive, because they don't want people to see that people can get food without a SNAP card or an EBT card.
Correct.
Because they have to own you. They have to strangle you.
Control. It's all about control.
I'm sick of it.
Me too. Control.
All right. When we come back, we're going to give you the full schedule for tomorrow's Veterans Day show. It's a Veterans Day extravaganza. Today's the 250th birthday of the Marines. It's Vic for Vets.
Yes, it is.
All the time on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL.
This is Dr. Mona Cohen. You are listening to Vic and Ken on News Talk STL. They're great.
On the next, Larry Connors, USA.
Today's story behind the story, the firestorm that threatened to destroy downtown St. Louis.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli, and my favorite sandwich from Capriati's is the Wagyu beef French dip. So good. It's the au jus that makes it. And the Wagyu beef is pretty good, too. I love Capriati's, and you will, too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men and women to improve their sexual performance. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get nearly 100. There's no need to pay expensive price as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Change your life for the better and have fun. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. That's 800-631-2030.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I'm going to grab a bite to eat. You want like a sandwich or something? What kind of sandwich ain't too fattening? I have a sandwich.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
I had to do that. We were talking about food off the air, so I had to.
But really, the only reason we played is to make sure Dave Sylvester is listening.
Right.
That's his favorite thing.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Today is the 250th birthday of the Marines. We talked to a real-life hero, Paul Curtman, who was Marine. Our other favorite Marine, Larry Connors, is not feeling well, so throw a prayer his way, okay? And thank you all for serving everybody who has served this country in any branch, in any capacity.
Yeah.
Because I'm so stupid that I thought I could have got this radio job with the Air Force just to say, hey, I want to be on the radio, and then you make good morning Vietnam. You got to go through the whole boot camp and all that stuff.
Yeah, minimum requirement.
Thank God I was not. Thank God I was too old. But you know what? If I had, I'd be able to salute.
You would.
Every time I see soldiers salute, I want to do it so bad. So bad.
I don't know.
But I can't. I can't bring myself to do it. Vic for Vets. Always on this show. And tomorrow is our Veterans Day extravaganza.
Yeah.
And we'll start out with, you want to do the Red Skeleton thing tomorrow?
I do. I would really like to do that.
That's usually our Flag Day thing.
Right. We can play it. Then let's do it twice a year.
I'm good with that.
I think the veterans deserve it.
Oh, there's no question whether they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. Jim Mayer, who we talked to, a lot of people know him as the milkshake man.
Right.
And he brought milkshakes to veterans who were amputees, not necessarily double amputees, but amputees. He would bring milkshakes to from McDonald's. And Doonesbury, the cartoon, did a panel on him.
Yeah.
Gotta be kidding me. So we'll replay that for you. Heard it on the X. That we'll try to find some veterans related stuff for Heard It on the X.
Maybe, yeah.
Dawn Lulef is going to join us. Now she's actually coming in live, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is for the wreaths for graves of soldiers who died who are at Belle Reve Cemetery.
Right. Wreaths Across America. And then they have a code, but they have you can go to Wreaths Across America, but don't donate there because there's a certain code you can get to.
And you have to, we want our Wreaths Across America to be where the money goes.
Right. Right.
And the wreaths are $17. They're $17.
$17.
Yep. Drew Thomas Allen tomorrow. Nick Schroer. A couple of World War II veterans. Tom Lacey. And George Kurt Davidson. World War II veterans who were here
that were in studio and talked with us. And we had to devote 2 segments to them because it was just, they were so good.
So tomorrow is our Veterans Day extravaganza. Thank you for serving so much. And be sure you're tuned in tomorrow because you are going to love it. Okay?
Yep.
All right, Kenny, let's do a little chat box here. We had some technical difficulties this morning.
Yeah, we did.
And we couldn't get on Facebook. I kept going on Facebook. David Sylvester says, yep, I'm listening. Half a sandwich. We need 75 Republican senators, and that eliminates the filibuster. That's all you got to do. Just elect a bunch of Republicans.
See, that's the other part of this. Someone said, well, why are you wanting to why are you afraid to get rid of the filibuster? Just defeat the Democrats. Defeat the Democrats.
Right.
Stop being so scared of everything.
That's right. Listen to Ken. You should be a drill sergeant.
Yeah. I'd be probably the meanest one because I'd be the shortest one.
Paul, Napoleon Complex?
Hell yeah, man.
Paul Spool from the AMVETS thing said he's on his way to D.C. to witness the 72 annual National Veterans Day observance at Arlington National Cemetery tomorrow. Excuse me. Keynote speaker, Donald Trump. Hoo-yah. Vic Heads. Wish. Oh, Paul's a Marine.
Yeah. Oh. Paul. We didn't know that.
We did.
No, we didn't know that.
We did know that?
I think we.
Yeah. Then shame on us.
Wish.
That's awesome. Have a great trip, and thank you for honoring our veterans. I have some air under my diaphragm. So, when do we get to hear the show? Or is it just me being blanked? Yes, Cinderfer, of course. We don't want any chicks listening to the show.
Oh, right.
Why would we not want beautiful women to be listening to the show? Matter of fact, can you welcome Cinderfer to the show? Make her feel good?
I sure can.
Thank you.
But I have to get my page together here. There we go.
Hey. How you doing?
How you doing, Cinderfer? I can hear it on the radio, but I have no video feed. Boy, I'm always being pitchy this morning. All pissy. Good morning, all freedom-fighting patriot Vic Heads. Wish my brothers and sisters.
Morning, St. Boss.
Guess I'll kick it old school. Cinderfer's back. She's back. Thank you so much. Tony is hilarious, and hopefully you guys can have him on more. Tony Kinnett.
Yeah, I think he's really good.
Can we have him on like once a month?
Yeah, we're kind of talking about it.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
And he's so witty.
Oh, yeah.
And he's smarter than me. which is not easy.
He's fun. I think we like people that we talk to that get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vic heads get it, and then when we meet with these people on virtually by audio, then kind of get a sense of them immediately. And he was just right there.
Not only does he get it, he dives right in and did a whoosh for us.
He did his own thing, right?
On News Nation. All right, Vic. There's a Bartolino's drop-off in Twin Oaks that I'll be loading up with food over the next few weeks. That's where near you live. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. 101 straight up. Is it just my phone? Okay, you quit the bitching. We're on, okay? Vic heads can multitask, Duke. Yes, they can. Allison says, good morning. Been listening on the app. Thank you. Liz Cheney should be prosecuted. The Capitol police officer is now a CIA or FBI agent.
See, this is, remember back then with the Biden administration, there was so much going on and everybody was doing so much corruption, like Liz Cheney doing lies and all that. Everybody was piling on, I think, with the assumption that, well, Democrats are going to be in power forever.
Yeah. Happy 250th birthday to all my fellow Marines out there. Hoorah. Happy birthday, Mr. Curtman. That's from Andre, man.
Hey, Andre.
On late today, Ed Stoid is late. Had a huge food pantry day. Very busy. Lots of food dropped off and then given out. See what I'm saying, Ken?
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you get the food, you get the food.
Because he's a mensch.
It shouldn't matter where it comes from, SNAP or EBT
right.
or your neighbor. Trust me, we feed our neighbors a lot in my neighborhood. Not because they need it, just because Jessica's a great cook. And Jessica does not know how to make just enough. She doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
She can't do it.
Yeah.
It's always got to be, for a table of 50. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, no fellow shit.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
Sunday Night Football on NBC did a pregame tribute to Paul Tagliabue and Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealand, who shot himself after he was being chased by police. What the hell? Then they cut to the numerous commercials and skip the national anthem.
So we know why he ran?
Skip the national anthem.
Good.
For some guy who blew his head off.
Good.
Social media posts attacked NBC Sports for that move. Good. Sea Turtle said that. Oh, man, thanks for the cadence. That I was once one of the kings of singing cadence.
Were you really?
That was Ken's idea all the way. Can we do that again tomorrow? That cadence thing?
We
don't have time right now.
No, I know we got it on the Vic Vervet page, though. We should do it.
Paul really nailed it with the kill thing. They just say kill instead of thank you. Then my wife, okay. Thank you for all your service to the Marines out there. I'm free because of you. Thank you so much.
Correct.
No, what time we got to go, Ken? Pete Hegseth makes me want to put my uniform back on. Great stories. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for your service.
We'll make it better tomorrow. It was just messed up today. But thanks for listening, you guys.
You guys are the best. Don't miss our Veterans Day extravaganza tomorrow. See you then.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on NewstalkSTL 1019. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
This December 13th, join Wreaths Across America at Belle Reve Garden Cemetery as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. Help us lay remembrance wreaths on the graves of our fallen heroes. Sponsor a wreath, volunteer, or bring your family to this meaningful tribute to our veterans, because every hero deserves STL.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. History in the making today at the White House with a visit by Syria's new president, Ahmad al-Sharaa. He's a former jihadist militia commander turned transitional leader, rising to power after Bashar al-Assad's regime collapsed earlier this year. He's the first Syrian leader to visit the White House in 60 years. House Speaker Mike Johnson grateful that the Senate is moving forward now on a temporary funding bill to reopen the federal government.
Added to that are provisions to fully fund SNAP provisions through the end of the next fiscal year, which is September 2026. Guaranteed back pay for all federal workers who have been made to endure these hardships over the last several weeks.
Democrat Senator Jean Shaheen among those Democrats willing to compromise.
The agreement reinstates thousands of fired federal workers and provides back pay to more than 1 million others. It advances 3 bipartisan funding bills. It restores a real bipartisan appropriations budget process.
Shaheen was among the small group of Senate Democrats who voted to extend the funding until late January. The head of the BBC and the news CEO both resigned on Sunday after criticism of the broadcaster's editing of a speech by President Trump.
The claims about the edit of President Trump's speech were very damaging to the BBC. The corporation needed to get on the front foot and either apologize or defend itself. I understand a statement had been prepared days ago to apologize, but that was blocked by the board. For a week, claims about the BBC and editorial bias were allowed to fester. It's a moment of real crisis for the corporation, and there will be questions about who governs it.
The BBC's Katie Results says the network came under fire for cutting out a section where Donald Trump said that he wanted supporters to demonstrate peacefully on January 6th of 2021, a fact that is often